Hi, I'm Ms. Matsuoka, and I'm going to show you how to solve exponential equations, exponential word problems really, that have to do with money and interest. So here's our beginning problem. So you put $3,000 into a mutual fund, earning 6.2% interest compounded quarterly. Now, for all these problems we need to use this formula right here. So let me explain what each of these variables means. A represents the total amount of money you're going to have. So I'm going to write total amount here. So this is the total amount that you end up with. So eventually, after so many years, you're going to end up with A. Alright, P. P represents the principal. If you want to write that down, great, but a lot of people are like, wait, what's principal? Principal is the starting amount. Alright, now we have R. R is the rate. It's the interest rate that we use. And here, N is the number of times per year. Alright, and T is the time. We're measuring this time in years. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and look at our steps that we're going to be using for these problems. We have number 1 here, and for number 1, these are the steps. The first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to use that equation that I just talked about, and we're going to plug in all the numbers into the equation, into the appropriate places. The second thing, which is the last step, is you just put it into the calculator. Here are the things for the second problem. The second problem, the first thing you want to do is kind of like the first problem. You plug all the numbers into the equation. The second step is you want to get the exponential by itself, and I'll explain what that means when we get to that part. Here, we are taking the log of both sides, and then we want to bring the exponent down in front. Lastly, we're going to solve for t by dividing, and we are putting that into the calculator as well. Here is number 1. So step 1, we plug all the numbers into the equation. So I'm going to rewrite the equation over here. It's going to be A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the N times T power. Now for A is the total amount. We're actually looking for A here because it says how much will you have after 10 years. So we're looking for A, we don't know what it is. So A is just A. P is how much we start with. We are starting with the $3,000 that we mentioned earlier in the problem. So that's P. Now we have 1 plus R. R is that 6.2% interest. But with percentages, in order to actually use them as decimals, you need to move the decimal place over 2 places to the left. So it's going to be moved over 2 places to the left, so it's going to be 0.062 for R. N is how many times per year. This is saying it's compounded quarterly. Now, how many quarters in a dollar? There's 4. So there are 4 quarters in a year. So we're doing 4 quarters in a year, so this is going to be 4 for N in both places, and that's going to be times, and we're looking for T. Remember, T is the time in years. It says right here, we have 10 years. So this is times 10. Oh, whoops, sorry, I wrote N instead of 4. So that should be 4, and then times 10. Now all I'm doing is I'm going to plug this into my calculator. Here's how you plug it into your calculator. You go to 3,000 here, and it says times with the parentheses, 1 plus 0.062 over 4, close your parentheses. And here's the tricky part. You put the exponent, but you need to put parentheses around your exponent because it's all in total, it's 4 times the 10. And your parentheses, press enter, and that's what we have. 5,550.32. So the very first thing we did, right, was step 1, plugging in the numbers. We just did step 2 with the calculator stuff, and the calculator gave us 5550.32. Now it is really important that we're taking 2 decimal places here, especially because we're dealing with money. Because money has dollars and it has the cents. So that's why we take 2 decimal places, especially for money. So that's the answer to our first problem. Alright, now let's look at our second problem. It says, after how many years will you have doubled your money? So we're looking at A first, right? A is how much we end up with. If we're doubling our money, we're going to end up with 6,000 because the 6,000 is double of 3,000. So we get 6,000. And again, we're still using the same equation. We're on step 1. We're just plugging in our numbers. And P, right, that was our starting amount. That was 3,000. 1 plus our rate is still the same at 0.062. And we are still being compounded quarterly. So we're still using that 4 there. So we know that that's 4 also. And we don't know how much time has passed. That's what we're trying to find here, because it says after how many years. So this is 4t here. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to get the exponential by itself, step 2, right? So we're doing step 2, we're getting this exponential by itself. What I'm talking about in exponential is just whatever the thing is to the exponent. So I'm getting this part by itself, and I'm going to do that by dividing both sides by 3,000 here. Alright, now this is going to give us 2. Keep in mind that these zeros will cancel out. A common mistake that I see people making is that they put this as 2,000, but this is just 2 because all the zeros will cancel out. Now, we have this part left, 1 plus 0.062 all over 4. It's still to the 4t power here. And now we're on our third step. So how do you get an exponent out of a tree? We hit it with a log, right? So we're going to take the log of both sides here. So log of 2 is equal to the log of 1 plus 0.062 all over 4, all to the 4t power here. We're going to now expand this with step 4. When we expand this log here, we're going to bring this exponent down in front and multiply it. So it looks like log of 2 is equal to 4t log of 1 plus 0.062 all over 4. And now we're on to our next step, step 5. As you can see, these 3 things here are multiplying each other, which means the way we get rid of the 4 in the log is just by dividing. So we're going to divide on both sides everything that's really not t. So divide everything. So 4 log of all this stuff here, 1 plus 0.062 all over 4. And same thing on this side, 4 log of 1 plus 0.062 over 4. So these completely cancel each other out. So now I have t by itself. Now I can actually plug this into the calculator and get an answer. So now we're going to put it into the calculator. So we have log of 2, so log of 2 and your parentheses. And we're dividing by the 4 log of 1 plus 0.062 over 4. So you need to put parentheses around your denominator because there's more than one thing you're dividing by. So it's 4 and then log of 1 plus 0.062 over 4. And your first set of parentheses and your second set. Okay, you press enter, and our answer is 11.27. And here's your bonus question. Make sure to do both problems and be very careful with the parentheses when you put it into the calculator. Good luck!